here's how to run C++ in Visual Studio Code. First, open Visual Studio Code and select the extensions icon from the left-hand sidebar. In the search box, type C++ and look for the C++ extension pack. Select it from the results and click Install. If you already have it installed, you can move on to the next step. We also need another extension to run our code. Search for Code Runner. Select the Code Runner extension from the results and click Install. Once both extensions are installed, we can start setting up our C++ project. Now, select File Explorer from the top left side of Visual Studio Code, then choose Open Folder. Here, we'll create a new folder for our project. Right-click in the folder window, select New, and then choose Folder. Give the folder a name, then select it, and click Select Folder. With the project folder now open in Visual Studio Code, we can create our first C++ source file. Right-click inside the Explorer panel, select New File, and give the file a name. The .cpp extension tells Visual Studio Code that this is a C++ source file. If you were creating a C program instead, you would use the .c extension. You can now enter your C++ code inside this file. For this tutorial, you can use any basic C++ program you want to test. However, before we can compile and execute the code, we need to install a C++ compiler on our computer. Open your web browser and search for MSYS2. From the search results, visit the official MSYS2 website. Make sure you're using the official website, then locate the download option and download the installer for Windows. Once the download is complete, open the installer and follow the installation wizard. Continue through the setup by clicking Next and allow the installation to complete. When the process finishes, click Finish. The MSYS2 terminal should then open automatically. Next, return to the MSYS2 website in your browser. On the installation instructions page, you'll find a command that needs to be copied. Select the required command and copy it to your clipboard. Now, switch back to the MSYS2 terminal. Right-click inside the terminal window to paste the command, then press Enter. The terminal will begin installing the packages required to compile and run C++ programs. If you're asked whether you want to continue with the installation, type Y and press Enter. Once the required packages have finished installing, open File Explorer on your computer. Go to your C drive, then open the MSys64 folder. Inside, open the UCRT64 folder, followed by the bin folder. At the top of File Explorer, click on the address bar and copy the complete path to this bin folder. Next, open the Start menu and search for Environment Variables. Select Edit the System Environment Variables from the search results. Under the appropriate section, locate the path variable and then select Edit. Click New and paste the directory path that you copied from the folder. After adding the path, click OK to save the change and then click OK again to close the remaining settings windows. Now open the Start menu once again and search for Terminal. Open the Terminal application and enter the command gcc -- version. Then press Enter. If you see options like this, that means the installation was successful and the environment variable was configured correctly. This confirms that Windows can now recognize the compiler. At this point, restart your computer. Restarting is important because it allows the environment variable changes to take effect across your system. After your computer has restarted, open Visual Studio Code again and load your C++ project. Open the C++ source file you created earlier. Then click the Run or Play button in the top right corner to compile and execute the program. Your C++ code should now compile and run successfully inside Visual Studio Code. You can use this setup to create and execute your own C++ programs directly from your computer. And that's it. That's all for this video. Thanks.